I will appreciate if you can please be on our feet to honor our able chairman in the name of the Honorable Barrister Julius Abure to this pulpit. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming all the way from Nigeria.
Labour Party, forward ever. How many of us know the Labour Party anthem? Okay. I think it will be the convenient point to start. Let me teach you the Labour Party anthem. And there are three stanzas. I will sing it first, you listen, and then we'll take it so that you can master it. Labour Party is our own. Labour Party is our party, oh. Nigeria go better when Labour Party don dey rule. Labour Party is our own. Labour Party is our party, oh. Nigeria go better when Labour Party don dey rule. The second stanza. We have decided to form a party. We have decided on Labour Party. We have decided to save Nigeria. No going back. No going back. The third one. There is victory for us. There is victory for all in the struggle to rescue Nigeria. There is victory for us. Forward, ever, backward, never. In the struggle for Nigeria, there is victory. Labour Party, backward never. So let us sit down. Perhaps at an appropriate time. Well, today ought not to be a day to make long speech. I was given the impression that I was coming to inaugurate Labour Party UK chapter, which is very necessary because we appreciate the efforts of the diaspora. We appreciate the support, the expected support and the support given so far, both moral and otherwise. Because we appreciate the fact that even where you may not have voting rights, most of you are breadwinners of your family back in Nigeria. And they say he who plays the piper dictates the tune. And therefore we know that even though you may not have that voting right, when you point to a direction that you want your people to go, we are very sure that they will all go there. We are also very conscious of the fact that a lot of you are opinion molders, a lot of you are also role models. And we believe that role models have a major role to play in pointing direction to where the people ought to go. And thirdly, in your actions, you have come out strongly against bad governance in Nigeria. And we see that very clearly in your post, in your actions. And we believe that your support is very, very key to the success of Labour Party. And Peter Obi, and the ultimate to rescue the country from those who have held it captive over the years. And that's why we consider it very, very important to inaugurate the UK branch, or the UK chapter, and some other chapters across the world. But the beginning of it, we are starting with the UK chapter. I want to say the struggle for the emancipation of the people is not an easy struggle. It is not going to be bread and butter, because the political elite in Nigeria are deeply entrenched. They have stolen our funds over the years, looted it, and they have continued to use it as a tool to continue to impoverish us and impoverish the people. Today in the northern Nigeria, over 20 million are out of school children. In 2015, it was 7 million children that were out of school in Nigeria. By today, that figure has doubled to about 20 million out of school children. Out of school in the northern Nigeria. Today, insecurity has taken over the country. Today, initially, if you are kidnapped and you pay ransom, you'll be released. But this time around, situation has gone worse. When people are kidnapped, we have had stories, we have had videos of, apart from the fact they are going to collect the ransom, they will collect the ransom, dismember the body parts, sell it, and feed the remaining ones. It's as bad as that. We have videos to that effect, testimonies of people who have escaped. Labour Party was a victim. When we started the struggle to liberate Nigeria, we felt it should start from Anambra State, the last governorship election that took place in Anambra. And we had a very vibrant, young candidate, because Labour Party decided that we're going to have a paradigm shift from the way politics are played. And therefore, we're the first political party to carry out primaries in Anambra State. We're the first political party to carry out primaries, because what past leaders of the party used to do before my emergence is that they will wait for other parties to conduct primaries. At the tail end, they will conduct their own so that they can harvest, fall out, and collect money from others. But in my time, I said, no, we are going to lead the struggle to liberate Nigeria. And Anambra governorship election was the first election I was to conduct. And so Labour Party was the first political party to conduct party primaries in Anambra. And somebody emerged, a very young, vibrant man, and had a sponsor that we call Ongadioga. He was the one behind him. Philanthropist, rich, had the money to drive the process. And we went to this young man to resign from the bank. He was regional manager in Zenith Bank. And so we brought him, conducted primaries, and he won. We started our campaign, and they saw that we were very, very serious, that we were going to make a statement. On the 18th of September last year, before the election, he was kidnapped. Until today, he has not been found. Terrible things are happening in the country. I was somewhere and people cautioned that we should not talk so much about the challenges, that we should talk about the solutions to those things, about the solutions to the problem of the country. But I do know that Awolowo used to teach us in those days, for those of you who have read Awolowo's book, that you cannot just find solution to an ailment without first diagnosing those ailments. So we cannot stop talking about the challenges of the country. We must talk about them, but we must also talk about the solutions to those problems. Today, inflation rate in Nigeria is double digits, 20.8%. Minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira. A bag of rice is 35,000. That is the situation in Nigeria. Today, Nigeria is more divided, more than ever before. Since Buhari came on board, Nigeria is now more divided than ever because all appointment is one-sided. Every principal position is one-sided. There's no justice, there's no equity, there's no fair play in Nigeria. And this is the situation that we find ourselves. And so, for us in Labour Party, we have decided that we are going to have a political party that is different from the others. Because what we noticed and what we found was that because money bags hijack political parties, because political party is the midwife that will midwife political leaders that will be elected into offices. And therefore, what they did was that money bags took over the structure of political parties. They are the ones funding it. They have taken control of it. And therefore, when it's time for party primaries where leaders will be selected, they select their houseboys, their drivers, their tailors, and put them in the National Assembly, in the Senate, and so on. Even governors, they appoint their boys, their loyalists, their cronies to be governors, and they are everywhere. And that's why one man can sit somewhere and dictate the fate of the country. And so we felt that the beginning for us to solve the problem of Nigeria is for us to have a political party that is people-oriented, that is driven by the people, that is owned by the people, that is not funded by one individual, but a political party that will be funded by the people. And so we started by driving that vision, and I'm happy today that we have crystallized that vision by the coming of Peter Obi joining the Labour Party. We told Peter Obi that it was a mistake in his going to PDP. It was purely a mistake. Peter Obi is not a stock for the PDP. Peter Obi is not a material for the PDP. He's a material for the Labour Party. And we have found a soulmate in Peter Obi. I know that you all know his pedigree. You all know about him. But for us, we have continued to maintain that for 2023 election, it's not about the rhetorics that you write. I was in a program, and they were asking me, where is your manifesto? I said, the manifesto is ready. We have written the manifesto. We will unveil the manifesto so that we can satisfy those who may want to look at it. But for 2023, it's not just about manifesto alone. Because in 2015, APC had the most beautiful manifesto. Before 2015, PDP had beautiful manifesto. But did they keep that to the manifesto? How did they implement it? The mantra of change that brought APC to power in 2015, how well have they implemented the manifesto? So for us, it's not just about manifesto, it's also about the character, about the antecedents, about the pedigree, about the competence and capacity of the presidential candidates. And that's what will determine the 2023 general election. And for us, we must put on the scale the three leading presidential candidates, Peter Obi, because I count him as number one, because he's the leading presidential candidate without sounding immodest. And then we put Atiku on the scale, and then put Tinubu on the scale. In terms of character, here, Peter Obi is number one. I have maintained that the challenges we are having in this generation too is because we have no role models in the country. In those days, in the First Republic, there are people you can look up to. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, Awolowo, Atoni Nahoro, name them. A lot of young people wanted to be like those political leaders. But today, tell me, who in the political space that you want your children, or I want my children to emulate? There are no role models. So part of the problem we have is that we have no role model in the country. But today, Peter Obi stands out in terms of role models and his behavior. Peter Obi's character, his behavior, his way of life, his discipline, is teaching a lot of Nigerians the way to go. And that's why the youth have bought into his character and his behavior. Atiku and Tinubu have no such characteristics. There's no doubt about it. We are ready for the struggle, and we will lead the struggle for the liberation of our. The campaign has not started. When it starts, I'm sure that they won't have anything to say. In terms of pedigree, Peter Obi stands out. You all have his records when he was governor in Anambra State. Peter Obi is the only governor as we speak that is not drawing pension. As poor as Nigeria is, when governors are leaving office, they sign a bill, make into law, and collect pension. It is ridiculous. It's absurd. It cannot happen in a civilized society. With all the money they have stolen, they will still put themselves in pension and be collecting pension. There's only Peter Obi that has served as governor who is not drawing pension from his state. It's only Peter Obi that have not built mansion in Anambra State. Even when he was governor, they offered him a land. Peter Obi gave it up. It is only Peter Obi that has no mansion in Anambra. Find out. All other governors, by the time they are leaving, they would have acquired properties for themselves across the country, across the world. When they are leaving office, they empty the treasury. They leave treasury with zero naira in their accounts. But go and find out how much Peter Obi left in his account, in the account when he was leaving. And the facts are there, you can check. So it's very clear that Peter Obi has, in terms of character, and he has it. Then in terms of age, in terms of strength and energy, because these are issues we must talk about. Because we do not want Nigeria to go back to where it was. People say we should not talk about the health of presidential candidates. And I challenge them, I say we must talk about it. Because it's part of the issue. You can't hand over a country that is sick to a sick person. Since I became the national chairman, since Peter Obi joined the party, it apparently brought a lot of challenges to the party. I said it, and I sleep 4 hours a day, at times 3 hours a day. And that is just a segment, one segment of the society. What am I trying to say? The president we are going to elect in 2023 must have the energy, must be in good health. Otherwise, he will not succeed because of the challenges that is facing the country. The challenges ahead of us is not for somebody who is old. Atiku cannot do it. He's already too old for that business. Tinubu is already sick. He cannot. and old. So we need younger, vibrant, articulate, and energetic leader. And that person is Peter Obi. And that's why I'm happy that Nigerians for the first time have risen to the occasion. For the first time, I can see where people are donating their money, donating their business, printing face cap, printing t-shirts, and organizing rallies on their own without contribution from the party. Without contribution, even from Peter Obi. And I think the time for the liberation of Nigeria has come. Because apparently the blood of those that have been killed would obviously speak. I say that the Nigerian government, no doubt, is paying lip service to the issue of security in Nigeria. It's lip service. There's about it. Because you know that when people are kidnapped, they are taken to these forests. You are aware of where they are. Why not deploy security to comb the place? But you leave it and pretend as if nothing can be done. Our oil, we are told that the reason we are not meeting the target that is given to us by OPEC is because they steal the oil. They are in charge of security. They control the Navy. They control the army. They control the police. They control custom. So how come you cannot monitor your waterways? And you tell us that barrels of oil are stolen. Who are the thieves? They are the thieves. So they pay lip service to all these things. So I'm happy that Nigerians are ready to take the bull by the horn. But there's a lot of work that we need to do. We need not pretend about it. There are several challenges that we must face. The country is still a very poor country. People are poor and hungry. And the socio-economic conditions of the people must be taken into account because it has a way of impacting on the life of the people. The poor man cannot enjoy human rights. You know why? If I'm brutalized today, and I need the services of a lawyer to fight for my rights, and I cannot afford it, what will I do? I will resign to fate. Majority of our people are poor, are hungry, and therefore whatever you offer them, at times on election day, they take it and may want to eat. And the poverty of the people, the hunger of the people, and all other ethnic settlements and the rest of them is what our people have, is what the leaders have been using to keep us hostage. But I'm happy we are gradually liberating ourselves from it. But like I said, there are a lot of challenges that we need to surmount. We need to get the issues of our agents very right. Because what I have noticed too is that what politicians do is that once there is an amendment to the Electoral Act to take care of one mischief, they create another room to rig election. In the past, after conduct of election, where the rig election is to go to the polling units and utter the results. But with our fight and our agitation for the improvement in the Electoral Act, they can no longer rig at the collation center because election results will be transmitted from the polling units. But Labour Party have decided to be ahead of them. So we have put a team in place. Look at this Electoral Act. Where will they rig from now so that we prevent and walk ahead of them? And we discovered that the only way they can rig now is to rig at the polling units before the election results are transmitted. And that's why the issue of our agents, we must get it right. We must adequately pay them. We must adequately take care of them. We must make sure that all the polling units are well manned by credible people, by intelligent people, and will ensure that they are men that cannot be compromised. We will also be mobilizing our people to ensure that after voting, they should remain there and defend the votes. Election strategy is not what we can put here on the table to discuss because of the recording. But I just said these few things because of some of the points that were raised, that what are we doing to ensure that we'll be able not just to win, but defending the votes. There are a couple of other things we have put in place to ensure that we are going to win and we are going to defend the votes. Today we are here to inaugurate the UK chapter. And I will speak briefly on how we came to the realization of forming the Labour Party. The struggle to actually have a party that is people-oriented started in 1945, when the Workers' Union then saw the need to form a Labour Party. And the then Labour leader number one, Imodu, aligned with the NCNC then and worked closely with the NCNC. When Herbert Macaulay died, Imodu was then nominated to join the delegation that came to UK to negotiate the Richards Constitution in 1945. And by the time Imodu got to Britain, that was when Labour Party won in Britain and formed government. And therefore, on his return to Nigeria, he saw the need to have and form Labour Party that would struggle for the liberation of the working people in Nigeria. But that didn't really come to fruition because it culminated into the struggle for independence, which took some time, and we eventually had independence. After independence, we then had the struggle, military incursion in politics, and so on, till 1989, when in Calabar, the unions came together and said they must have a workers' party that will struggle for the working people and struggle for the downtrodden. But the Babangida regime aborted all that struggle and came up with NROC and SDP, if you recall. And that republic, which people popularly refer to as the Third Republic, didn't really find its way and didn't really work until in 2000, when Gani Faweyemi went to court to challenge the Obasanjo regime on why political parties will not be registered. And the Supreme Court graciously granted that request to Gani Faweyemi and all others to form political party. And so in 2002, the current Labour Party was given birth to. And so the Labour Party today in Nigeria has been in existence since 2002 as Party for Social Democracy. And in 2004, we then decided to change the name from Party for Social Democracy to Labour Party. And from inception, I was there. I was Assistant Secretary of the party in Edo. I was Assistant State Secretary in Edo. In 2006, I became State Secretary in Edo. In 2014, I became Deputy National Secretary. And in 2015, when the National Secretary resigned, I became National Secretary. I was re-elected again as National Secretary in 2020. And in 2021, the National Chairman died. December 2020. And in March 2021, I took over the mantle of leadership as the National Chairman of the party. I then decided to change the narratives and build the party along the line of people-oriented. And I'm happy today that we are all here to lead the struggle for the liberation of Nigeria. I want to assure you that we will lead the struggle for this liberation. Whatever it will take us to deliver the people of Nigeria, to pursue this election and to ensure that Peter Obi wins next year, we will do all of it to ensure that victory is for us. Should I conclude now? Okay. So let me once more appreciate all of you for the support. I want to say that I'm highly elated seeing the caliber of people sitting here. I'm highly encouraged. I'm humbled by your support, by your presence. I'm humbled by the fact that you waited. We were supposed to start by 7. Although that wasn't my fault, I was ready, but the organizers didn't come around to pick me. It's not in our character to go late. Because we believe that if we must change government, the change must begin from us. And punctuality should be part of it. Our behavior should be part of it. If we are saying that we must change the political narratives, the change must begin from us. By the way we do things, by our conduct in our private life, by our conduct in our business life. It is that characteristics, that change must start from us. So it's not in our character to go late, but I'm sure that the organizers had a lot of logistic issues, and that was how we had to come late. So I am deeply humbled that you patiently waited. I'm happy, and I'm very, very proud of you, and I'm happy with the support you are giving to us. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir. Okay, this is part of the coming together of everybody tonight, which is the inauguration of the UK chapter of Labour Party. So these are going to be the people that will be representing Labour Party in the UK. The chairman is going to do the inauguration. I just want him to take a bit of weight off his leg for a while. We're still going to call him up. Can I have this?
Yes, before we call the list, we have, like I said in my remarks, there is the need to have chapters across some countries of the world, especially in those countries where we have huge number of Nigerians. And we identified UK as one of those countries that have large following of Nigerians. And so that's why we decided to start with the inauguration of the UK chapter. They are not elected, it's just a caretaker committee. Their mandate is, one, to carry out the registration of members. Because for you to have election, you must have members. Without membership, proper membership that are registered, that are subscribing, and with their membership cards, you won't be able to have a proper Congress that will bring in elected leaders. And for every beginning, there must be doctrine of necessity, especially where we didn't have strong UK organs and members across the countries. And so we have decided that we are going to have, now that we have some following, some people who want to work for Peter Obi and they work for Labour Party, it is good for us to take some time, 6 months, to carry out membership, proper membership registration. These members, we have their membership cards, we have proper membership register, and then we can then call for election, where leaders of the UK chapter will emerge. We can't do this except you have a group of people that you assign this responsibility to be able to carry out this task. And we feel that with this momentum that the Labour Party is having, and with the following of emerging members from the UK and some other parts like Italy and the rest of them, it is good for us to take advantage of this and begin to establish the party. And so that's how we arrived at this. So it is a caretaker committee that will run for 6 months. First mandate is to register members, ensure that they have membership cards, and then lead the group into conduct of primaries. Because we believe that there must be a beginning. And this is the foundation. This is the beginning. It is because of this I had to come myself. I didn't want to delegate this responsibility. And it is the very first chapter that we are going to inaugurate. The very first chapter outside Nigeria that we are inaugurating. And I decided that I would do it myself. Our tickets were cancelled twice. I came with my brother from Edo. We traveled together. I wouldn't have been here on that Friday. We left on Friday, have we? The tickets were cancelled as we were getting to the point. They said we didn't get to the airport. We didn't get to the ticketing section 2 hours to the time. The tickets that we bought were cancelled. We had to buy another ticket that took us to Amsterdam before we came to UK. But I'm happy that I'm here myself, and I want to anchor this inauguration. We have been having 2-3 groups who have been contending leadership of UK branch. I have met with them. I sat with them. We have discussed, and we have reached this consensus. I'm a bridge builder. I believe that the more you have people together, the better for us. And that was why when I came, even though it is this other group that arranged my coming, I decided that I was going to see all other groups. And that if I did see all the groups, there won't be inauguration. And I got other people, got some other people to help me look for all the groups wherever they are. And I had interface with all of them, all the groups I met with them. And I ensured that they all brought in their nomination. And so what we have here is a conglomeration of those who said they have formed Labour Party one way or the other. Whether they had my authority to do so or not, it didn't matter to me. Because when some disciples of Jesus came to him and said, some people are speaking in your name. Master, some people are speaking in your name, but they are not part of us. Jesus Christ told them, if they are not against us, they are for us. A lot of people, when they heard that Peter Obi came to Labour Party, those who didn't have authority or those were giving people mandates to go and form UK branch. You go and form UK. So they were all forming UK branch. And so there was struggle for leadership. So I said, I will go myself. Whether they had my mandate or not, in as much as it's Labour Party, they are all my people. I will see them. And so I brought all the groups together, and they have all made nomination to this caretaker committee. So what we have here is a conglomeration of all the groups. And it's for 6 months. After 6 months, they would have registered members, and then we announce the date for election where there will be primaries. If I have time, I will come myself to conduct that primaries. And so I will crave your indulgence that we should allow this to go, and then we inaugurate them, issue them the necessary letters, so that we can have some sort of coordination. They just brought to my knowledge that some support groups are quarreling. Though I didn't have the details, I said I will discuss with you. Now, some of your groups, some people got angry and left. Some people were removed from the group, and so on and so forth. It came to me late. If I had known that they had that issue, I would have created one day and bring all the groups together. And because we can't afford to be divided at this time. What is principal to us, what is most important to us, is how we win the presidential election of next year. The Bible says, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness. If we are able to win presidency next year, I know that majority of you here will be relocating to Nigeria. Because we are going to find space for you in government. For those of you that are already having the resources, the enabling environment we are going to create will be enough for you to create something for you to live on. Nigeria can be a great country because we have all the resources. We have the natural resources. We have the human resources. What we have been lacking is the leadership, is having proactive leadership that we harness all our resources together in order to reposition the country for greatness. Even if we had nothing else, the land and the human resources we have is enough for the country to be great. I know that Israel, even UK here, and some other countries live on agriculture. So even if we are only farming with all the lands that we have, we'll be able to feed ourselves and export food. Today, Nigeria cannot feed itself. The major source of our imports is from food. Up to rice, we'll import. Everything we'll import. So for me, what is key is for us to focus on the presidential election. Once we win it, every other thing will follow.